I'm going to go over the practice assessment for outcome 4. Okay. First thing you'll see in this assessment is a formula list. You'll get given the Pythagoras theorem, which is the longest side squared is equal to the other two sides squared and added. And you'll also get your trig ratios. So you'll get your sines opposite of hypotenuse, cos is adjacent of hypotenuse, tan is opposite over adjacent. So let's have a look at some of the questions then. First one, combined horizontal and vertical components of a system of forces as shown below to determine the magnitude of the resultant force. The magnitude is just a fancy name for size. So what we're wanting to find here is the length of this line called resultant, which I'm going to call x just to make life easier. Okay, it's a right angle triangle. I know the other two sides, so I can use Pythagoras. No angles mentioned, so it's definitely Pythagoras. So Pythagoras tells me the longest side squared is the other two sides squared and added. Let's get a calculator. It's 51.2 squared plus 36.9 squared. That is 3,983.05. I've forgotten it already. 3,983.05. That gives me the resultant squared. I want just the resultant, opposite squaring, square rooting. So I want to take the square root of 3,983.05. Square root of that is 63.11 kN. Okay, question 2. Question 2, we've got a triangular circle, we've got a phase angle of 65 degrees. We've got the hypotenuse here is 32 ohms and we want to find the reactance. Okay, so I know the hypotenuse, I want to find the opposite. Not interested at all in the adjacent. So looking at SOHCAHTOA, I want to find the hypotenuse. I know the opposite, so I'm using sine. I know the angle, so let's put the angle in. Sine 65 is the opposite, which is the one we're trying to find. I'm just going to call that R over hypotenuse, which is 32. Here R has been divided by 32. So we take it over in times. It's 29.00, 29 ohms. Okay, number 3. Beam 5.4 metres long rests against a vertical wall, so the top is 3.3 metres above the ground. Calculate x, the distance in metres from the base of the beam to the wall. That's the length of this line here. Part A, I'm finding a length. I know 2 other lengths, so I'm using Pythagoras. This time it's a shorter side, because the longest side is here, which is 5.4. So I need to subtract. It's going to be 5.4 squared, take away 3.3 squared. Which is 18.27. Again, that's x squared. I just want x. So let's take square root. Which is 4.27 metres. Part B. Calculate theta, the angle the beam makes with the ground. So I want to find the size of this angle. I'm interested in the ones that I know. There's my opposite. I know the hypotenuse. I also know the adjacent because I've worked it out. But I'm going to stick with the 2 that I was given. Okay. So I've got the opposite. I've got the hypotenuse. It's going to be sine again. So sine theta is the opposite, which is 3.3, divided by hypotenuse, which is 5.4. To get theta then, we want to do the opposite of sine. So I want to do inverse sine of 3.3 divided by 5.4. Oh, I've jumped a bit. Type that into our calculators. .3767 degrees. And that is outcome 4. As ever, please let me know if there's any issues and get them sorted before you sit your assessment.